Hey everybody, welcome to another YDFLive show. My name is Stephen Aitchison and I'm the creator of YourDigitalFormula.com, a program to help you grow your audience, share your message and transform your business. Okay, I'm in a different position today. I thought I'd change things up a wee bit. So I'm sitting in my favourite reading chair. I got this reading chair from my wife from Sharon for last Christmas, and this is the chair I do all my reading. And I love it, so I thought, okay, I'm just going to change things up a wee bit. Okay, today we're going to be talking about what is your message. So I'd say the number one question I kind of get asked all the time is, okay, you love talking about business and you love talking about personal development and kind of beliefs and stuff like that. That's for me. And so they asked me, okay, what do I talk about? What is it that I can talk about? I'm not an expert in anything. But you have to think about it from the point of view that although you might not consider yourself an expert, that you really are an expert in something. So say for example, you love to do kind of exercise. That might be your thing. Like DNA, I know kind of DNA, you love to kind of do exercise and kind of bodybuilding and stuff like that as well. That could be your kind of area of expertise. Now you don't have to be the top expert in the world. What you need to be knowing, or what you need to be thinking about, is you know more than probably 90% of the people out there. So I kind of know probably 90% more, well, probably know more than 90% of the people online who are looking to grow their business online or grow their audience or grow their Facebook page or their social media presence. I probably know more about that topic than 90% of the people that are actually online just now. So although I don't call myself an expert, I could be considered an expert because I know more than kind of most people. And that's how I can teach it. That's how I can do the coaching for it as well. That's why I've got clients kind of coming to me to learn about this stuff as well. So you have to think about yourself that way as well. But a lot of people ask, okay, what do I really want to talk about? What's my message? So when you're talking about your message, you're really thinking about what is your passion. It's akin to being or trying to find out what your passion is in life. And for example, we gave the example there from DNA that one of her passions is kind of exercising and bodybuilding, for example. So she could teach that to other people. She could do it a number of ways via video on YouTube, video on Facebook Lives, kind of doing image quotes on it, doing videos on it as well, and teaching on a blog as well. There's loads of things you could do it with. That could be your medium for getting your message out there. But the question here is really, what is your message and how do you kind of convey that message as well? So the first thing to think about really is choose a topic that you're already in love with. So when you're in love with a topic, say for example, you love reading books about leadership, for example. So if you love leadership, that could be your kind of main area of expertise in your life. And so it's not the fact that you've read hundreds of books, it's what you've gleaned from those books as well, and what you've learned yourself, how you've adapted from the learning that you've kind of been taught in those books as well. So that's what it's all about. You could teach that in a blog, you could teach that on a Facebook Live, you could teach that on a Facebook page, a YouTube channel, Twitter, just everywhere else. So if you love that topic, then that's kind of a place to start. And you probably love, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 topics in your life. So it might be that you're fascinated with arts and crafts. That could be your topic. It might be that you're fascinated with kind of online business. That could be your topic. It might be that you're kind of obsessed kind of with Facebook and you've learned loads about Facebook. That could be your topic as well. Or Photoshop, teaching others Photoshopping, stuff like that. Loads of stuff that you could actually be kind of teaching. But the second thing to think about is, are you going to be in love with that topic in 5 years' time? So when I was first kind of starting out on Facebook, say 2.5 years ago, I was kind of obsessed with Facebook because I wanted to get to the bottom of it. I wanted to find a way how I could grow my page to 1 million followers. That was my first objective. I want to get to 1 million followers and I want to learn every single thing about Facebook that I can to reach that target. Now, then I had to ask myself, am I going to be in love with this topic in 5 years' time? The answer came to me about a year and a half later, because people were asking me how I was growing my page, what I was doing, what were the little tricks, what were the systems I was using. And when people started to come to me, I thought, yeah, and I started to teach them how to do it. I thought, I may not necessarily be in love with the topic of Facebook, but what I do love is teaching others about how to grow their Facebook page. So that question came pretty easily to me. Yes, I would be in love with this topic in 5 years' time, because I could marry the two together. Facebook, the more I learned about that, it's going to be beneficial for me. But the more I learned about it, the more I could teach others how to use Facebook to grow their business online as well. So that topic, yeah, I would definitely be in love with that. I'm still going to be in love with Facebook and online business in the next 5 to 10 years' time. After 10 years, I've got another plan for after 10 years. But 5, 10 years' time, I'm still going to be loving this topic. I'm still going to be teaching it. I'm still going to be speaking about it. And I'm still going to be on your Facebook feed kind of talking about it as well. So think about that as well. Ask yourself the question, will I be in love with this topic in 5 years' time, for example? And the third thing to think about is, when you're choosing your message and what you should be teaching about and what to become an expert in, is think about something you've always wanted to learn. So I always wanted to learn about Facebook, because everybody was talking about Facebook before when they were doing their online business. They were talking about Facebook ads, they were talking about Facebook growing their pages and stuff like that. And I always wanted to learn it. I just didn't have the time at that particular time. And then when I thought, okay, I'm going to go for this, I'm going to do it, I made the time to learn about Facebook. I thought, right, this is a year I'm going to be doing this. 2014, January, thought, this is it. I'm going to learn as much as I can about Facebook. I made the time for it, and it really benefited my business. But it was a teaching after that came that I just love to do, and I just love everything about it. And I love the teaching. I love kind of speaking live, and I love talking to you live as well. I just love everything about it. So what have you always wanted to learn how to do? And it might be that you have a topic that you've always, it might be dressmaking, something like that. It could be knitting, something like that as well. And then you go away and learn it. Then, as I said earlier, what you've got to understand is you probably know more than most people out there once you get to a certain level. And once you get to a certain level, that's when you can start teaching about it. Because what you have to think about is you only have to be one step ahead of the person that you're teaching, and you could become a coach, for example, in that particular topic. So you only have to be one step ahead. So think about when you go to the gym. If you've ever been to a gym and you've got an instructor, for example, they're probably 1 or 2 steps ahead of you from where you are. So they're not necessarily complete experts in that field. They're only 1 or 2 steps ahead of you. And then when you want to take it further, when you get up to their level, then you find another coach who is more advanced. So they might talk more about nutrition, for example. Instead of just doing the kind of body weight stuff and the weights and the exercises, they talk more about nutrition. Then they might talk about mindset. So that's gone up another level. So you've got to think about yourself. As long as you're 1 or 2 steps ahead of the people that you're teaching, then you're good to go, as long as you're learning all the time as well. Another thing to think about when you're trying to choose your topic of your area of expertise is thinking about what you've been through in your life. So we've all been through shit in our lives. So we've all been through stuff that we've kind of came through, we've mastered, we've overcome something. You could start teaching about that. You are to a degree an expert in that particular topic. So say, for example, you always wanted to learn how to study properly, but you never could master it when you were younger. And then when you got to the ages of 15, 16, 17 or something, you really mastered studying. There was a system you found that really, really worked, and you kind of adapted that system. You kind of changed it a wee bit to suit you. And that could be something that you teach others. You overcame that kind of bad study habit to make it into a good study habit, and you could teach other people doing that. I was reading something the other day about Shark Tank. That's what I was watching, the guy on Shark Tank, and he now teaches people, or teaches youngsters, how to pass their SAT tests. And he's making $4 million a year from that, just kind of teaching live and kind of online as well. So he teaches them how to study for their SATs, and he's made that his business because he overcame something, adapted it, changed it, and got it kind of perfect system in place, and now he teaches it to other people. And he's got other teachers teaching as well. He's got a certification program and stuff like that. I think it's called Prep. I can't remember what it's called, the business, but I saw it in Shark Tank. It was episode 3 or something like that. No, it was in series 7, but they came back to it in series 8 from episode 3 or something like that. So it was just to give you something to think about when you're talking about your topic. I'm just going to go to Facebook just now, just see if we've got any questions. Have we got any? I don't think we've got any questions on it so far. So if you've got any questions on that topic about finding your passion, about finding what topic to become an expert in, what to talk about, how you go about it, just give me a question down below. Just see some of the comments just now. DNA is saying singing and exercise literally have been my whole life's passion, and that is something that is teachable. That is something you could teach to others and also create a business for yourself as well. But focus in on one area. Don't focus on the singing and then focus on another kind of topic of exercise. Focus on one area at a time. Start to get it automated. So you'll come to a stage when you've got everything in place, you've got all the videos in place, you've got the sales funnels in place, everything else, and you can start automating your business. And that is the time to start moving on, DNA, to maybe teaching about singing. So if you can teach singing, then you could do that in exactly the same manner. So start kind of small, build it up, get your funnels, sales funnels, your videos, your content, everything else in place. Start automating the systems, because your business is all about systems when you think about it as well. Hazel Johnson saying, glad to have found you, helping me to think outside the box. Good, because that's what these lives are all about, Hazel. It's just to get you to think about that. I'm not saying my way is the only way. I'm just getting you to think about things, and then when you look at kind of the way I'm doing it, then you can adapt it to suit yourself. So it doesn't have to be exactly my way, because my way is going to change as well, just like your way is going to change as well in the future. So it's always kind of adapting, changing, tweaking, looking at the stats, adapting, changing, tweaking it, and you just keep on going and going until you find the system that's going to work for you. And then you can replicate that system and move into another area of your business as well. Lorraine Emmett, I'm just going to enlarge the screen. One wee sec. Lorraine Emmett's got a comment. I think the thing I struggled with most, and something that held me back for a long time, was why people would want to learn something from me when so many other people could teach them the same thing. That was something I had to overcome before I started to think about creating my first product. That is a brilliant point. And you probably know what that's called. That's called imposter syndrome. So you get that feeling when you think, who the hell am I to start teaching people? Who do I think I am? And you start thinking, am I big-headed enough to think that I could teach other people? Or not big-headed, you might use those kind of words. But as I said earlier, as long as you're 1 or 2 steps ahead of the people that you're teaching, then you've got something to give. You've got knowledge that can be shared, knowledge that could change other people's lives as well. So if you think about it, I know you've overcome that now, Lorraine, which is brilliant, but a lot of people go through that cycle. They go through the cycle of imposter syndrome. And it's something we should kind of talk more about and more in depth. I think a blog post would be kind of better rather than talking about it on a Facebook Live. But you've got to overcome that as well, and you will overcome it. And usually what happens is you start teaching, you still have those feelings inside, you start teaching it, and then people come to you say, oh, that was amazing information, thank you so much, I'm glad I found you. And then when you get to that stage, you start to think, maybe I am worthy enough of teaching the stuff that I want to teach. And that's a brilliant feeling, and then you get over that imposter syndrome. So really good point, Lorraine, because most people, I would say, have that. A comment from Fiona Cheney. Finding the courage and the time is a challenge to get over my initial fear. I think if you're really passionate about something, Fiona, you will find the time. I know it is a challenge if we've got kids, if we've got family, we've got work commitments and stuff like that as well. But what I did, because I love doing this so much, I got up 2 hours earlier in the morning, every single morning. Instead of getting up at 7 o'clock for my work when I was doing this, when I was working full time, instead of getting up at 7 o'clock, I would get up at 5 o'clock or 4:30, 5 o'clock, work for 2 hours on my kind of online stuff. Then I would start getting ready for work, get the boys up, get Sharon up as well. We'd all kind of sit and have breakfast and that. And then we'd go to work. When I came back from work, we would sit with the boys again, see how the school days went, sit with Sharon, had a cup of coffee, and then I would go back to work for another 2 hours. So I found 4 hours a day just doing that, and I could still spend time with the family, could still work. I was knackered at the end of the day. I slept like a baby at the end of the day, but it was because I was really passionate about it. And you always find time when there's something that you need to be doing, something you truly want to be doing, you always kind of find the time for it. So it is a challenge, but it's a challenge we can overcome as well. A question from Kate Davis. Singing and inspiring others with physical disabilities and mental illness. Can you please suggest something to help to marry the two together? That's a good question, Kate. So your kind of main topic is about singing and inspiring others with physical disabilities and mental illness. Well, we kind of all know what does singing bring to you? What happens when you start? What happens when I start singing? What happens when anybody starts singing? They start to feel good about themselves. They start to change their energy. They start to change the way they think as well. When you've got a song in your head, or when you, because I sing all the time around about the house, I'm always singing, and it just changes my energy, it changes my mood, it changes everything. So you could marry the two together by kind of teaching singing, but specifically target people with physical disabilities and mental disabilities. But here's the thing, what you'd be better doing, instead of doing it just online, which you can do, absolutely, but what you can do is do it in live group sessions. So you could teach people to sing, or you could start a choir just for that niche. So people with kind of physical disabilities and mental illnesses, you could bring them together in a group in your local area, for example, and just teach them how to sing, or start a choir or something like that. And you could also, obviously, you charge for that as well, because you're changing people's lives. And it's given people a place to go to meet other people with similar kind of disabilities, or similar issues that they have in life as well. So that would be a fantastic way to do it, Kate, is just to do it in live groups. And then to make money, to grow your business as well, you could start a certification program to teach other people how to teach people with physical disabilities and mental illnesses as well, if that makes sense. So that is growing your business, but you're helping to spread the word around the world as well. So I hope that gives you some kind of food for thought. Just let me know if you've got any questions on that, Kate. But this is just ideas off the top of my head. Hazel Johnson saying, I would love to learn how to sing. DNA Bidwa is, hey Kate, what about songwriting and creating work music to help others? Good suggestion. Corey Murray, your blue shirt is smart on you. Thank you very much. Maria's made a comment and I just can't see it. Maria, I personally think it's sinful not to share what you have to offer. Why are you keeping that gift away from others, whatever your message, passion or talent is? Really good point as well. And I think that's a topic we touched on last week or the week before on a live, is if you've got a gift, or I believe we are here to find out what we're here for in life. Spiritually, why are we here in life? That's a question we all ask, and most people don't get to answer it. I've found out what I'm meant to be doing. I'm meant to be teaching others about business and personal development, and business and personal development definitely go hand in hand. That is my passion. That's what I've found out. That's what I'm here on this earth for. And I think if you've got a gift like that, I think what Maria's saying is absolutely right. If you've got a gift, you've found that passion and you've got that drive as well, then it's a kind of wrong thing to not share it with others, or share that passion, or share that gift for you to be able to teach it to others as well. It's just amazing. So I think that's spot on, Maria. We've got a comment from Regis V. Cho. I believe we can have three perspectives from which to build authority in areas of our niche. Number one, the student. Number two, the reporter. Number three, the expert. I start as a student and reporter and progress from there to get to expert. I think most important is to provide massive value at every stage. Brilliant. I love that, Regis. I don't know if I've seen that somewhere else before, but I love the way you've kind of worded that. So you go from student to reporter, or student and reporter, to the expert stage as well. And then it's becoming the expert of the experts as well. That might be another stage as well. So I really like the way you've kind of worded that. I'll just see if there's any more comments here. Okay, Davis is saying that's awesome advice, thanks. Brilliant. It's just for something to think about, just to kind of think outside the box as well. Because what we want to do, we want to help as many people in the world as possible, but we also need to sustain ourselves. We need to sustain ourselves financially and our families. So we need to think two ways. And it's not just about money grabbing. It's not about that. But when you can marry the two together, i.e. growing your business, making money for you and your family, and also helping thousands of people around the world as well, that's when it all becomes beautiful. That's when it all becomes life-changing for you and other people as well. Because you're doing something you love to do, plus you're getting paid for it. And you just go, Jesus, this is my job. I get paid to do this. It's just brilliant. I wake up every day and I think, wow, I get paid to do what I love to do. It's just an amazing feeling. So if you can marry the two together, excellent. Another comment have we got? Question from Maria. How did you know or feel, how did you feel when you knew YDF was your passion? What are signals you noticed? Good question. So YDF started off kind of two years ago. I started growing my Facebook page, beginning of 2014, end of 2013. And I was doing it for myself. I wanted to kind of raise awareness for the products I had, for the personal development products that I had at the time. But then when people started to come to me and say, okay, how are you growing your Facebook page? What are you doing to make money with your Facebook page? What are the secrets to doing that? And when I was telling people at the time, I was just saying, okay, here you go, here's the information, let me get on with my work. But then I realised the more I started to kind of help others with it, and the more questions I got, because I was literally getting hundreds of questions, I thought I kind of love to teach. So there was that part of me that says, and it's going one-on-one as well, and kind of in groups as well. And when I started doing the teaching part of it, that's when I found out that I really loved teaching about kind of YDF, or Your Digital Formula, and that's how the YDF was formed, because I loved the teaching part of it. So it wasn't just about making money, it was about showing others how to empower themselves to go out to empower thousands of more people. So what I'm effectively doing is myself, I can teach kind of thousands of people how to grow their online business. But what the bigger picture is, I'm teaching thousands of people to go out and reach thousands of more people who are going out to reach thousands of more people in the world. So it's creating a kind of ripple in the universe, just to all this happening because of what I'm teaching as well. And people adapt what I'm teaching them and showing them. They adapt it to suit their own kind of needs, and they find wee tweaks and stuff like that, and they make it sometimes better, but they adapt it for themselves. So that moment came when I realised I loved teaching, because I didn't really know before then that I loved the teaching side of it. But when I found I loved the teaching side of it, obviously then I had a responsibility to learn even more about growing an online business, because I had responsibility to students as well. So that gave me the impetus and the kick up the arse and the motivation to learn as much as I could. And I'm still learning as we go along. I just pass it on to all the students as well. So that was the point when I kind of realised that that was my passion. It's more about the teaching than the actual topic that I'm teaching. But because I loved the teaching, I grew more into getting to know more about the topic, if that makes sense. Hopefully it does. So good question, Maria. Thanks for that. I think that's it for just now. Maria Flynn, love that. It does feel awesome to empower others. What a powerful reply. Thank you. Thank you very much, Maria, and thanks for the question. So speaking on that topic as well, before I go, we've got the last live webinar of 2016 coming up. And in it, I'm going to share the 3 secrets to kind of growing your business online, growing your audience, making money from your audience in a heart-centered way as well. And I've got kind of new content coming up within that as well. And in the previous webinars, what we've discussed is how to grow your audience using Facebook, social media, and your online business, etc. But in this webinar, I'm going to focus on as well about how to make money, because people are always asking, well, I get that you need to grow your audience, but how do I make money when I do grow my audience as well? What we were talking about earlier on, to sustain yourself financially and for your family as well. So I've added a part about that in the webinar as well. So I'm going to put a link down below for this Wednesday's kind of webinar, and that's going to be at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you're interested in growing your audience, sharing your message, and making money from that as well, sign up for the webinar as well. It's going to be a doozy, this one, I think. It's going to be a really good one. Maria Flynn, yeah, webinar. I can't wait for you to share the new stuff. Yeah, it's going to be good, Maria. I think you're going to like it. Maria's not seen it yet. I've just been working on it over the weekend, so she's not actually seen it yet. And Maria's always kind of helping me with the webinars as well. In the background, just welcoming everybody in, giving links out and stuff like that as well. So without Maria, I couldn't really do the webinar. So big, huge thank you. But she's not seen the actual content yet. I've just sent the link over today at a business meeting. So she'll check that out later on. So join the webinar if you can. It'd be great to see you there. And as I say, it's going to be the last live webinar of 2016. Well, maybe the last live webinar. We're billing it as the last live webinar. So with that, I'm going to wish you a brilliant day, whatever you're doing. And hope you get up to some awesome, amazing stuff. And namaste. Take care. Bye now.